Good morning, everyone. And my name is Gabriel Amuzu. And in this section, we're going to talk about basic editing skills. When we talk about basic editing skills, people will be thinking that it's something very uh, to the high extreme. No, it's just a basic. So this section actually is for those who don't have any idea or don't know anything about what either picture editing or video editing. So in this section, we're going to talk about certain things we're supposed to look out for when editing. So when we say basic editing, and before let me put this one through, I'm not going to use any slides, so please pardon me for that. I just want us to be more practical like the old days. Yeah, thank you very much. So when we talk about basic editing skills, don't look further. Just look within around you, what you can do to make, let's say, your picture better. So we are talking about what we can do in these basic editing skills, what we are talking about in these basic editing skills to make your picture very well, simple for you. So maybe you are a big man in your office. You don't want your boys to see that maybe you are putting some pictures together, because sometimes you want things to be secret and then giving it up to, let's say, the computer guy over there before you realize everybody has seen what you want to do. So you learn these basic editing skills for you to be equipped so that at the end of the day, even when you take picture on your phone, you can do that basic editing. When you take picture with your camera, you should know what to look out for when, let's say, taking picture. So let's talk small before I enter into the main section where you're going to use the software to do these basic editing skills. So first of all, when talking about basic editing skills, it's things that you're supposed to look out for when, let's say, editing picture. So look no further, just around you. Now, when you look at the sky, what do you see? So in basic editing skills, let's say take a picture of the sky. You are supposed to bring what you see in environment, the real thing in environment, perfectly like that on the picture. So it happened that let's say you didn't get it perfect from the environment and it's on the computer. So what can you do to, let's say, adjust it a little bit or work it a little bit? So in this section, this is what we're going to do. So I may use one or two pictures for us to understand the whole section, and then we move it from there. And then when there's much time, we go into the video and then we do some simple basic video editing skills. That one just about, let's say, cutting video, joining video, putting the underlay, music, and then so on and so forth. So next time, hopefully we are live, then I can bring you some small recording, the audio aspect where you learn about how to record audio, how to get a perfect audio for your work. Do you understand? Okay. So now, talking about this basic editing, these are some of the things you're supposed to look out for. Now, if you are doing basic editing, you should look out for exposure. When we say exposure, what is exposure? Exposure is how open your image is to light, or how dim your image is to light. Most of the time, let's say we the amateurs or those who don't know anything about photography, all we do is that we take a camera, we take a picture. And at the end of the day, the picture becomes very white, sometimes very blurry. So we ask ourselves, I thought the thing's gonna be like as I see. And then one deceitful thing about the whole camera is that there's a pinhole. When you look into the pinhole, you will see the sky as it is in the pinhole. But when you take the picture, you realize that no, it's a different thing that you have taken. Good. So going forward, next time, we're also going to talk about basic camera skills, things that you're supposed to look out for. But for today, we are sticking to our basic editing skills. So let's start. We have the alignment. What is alignment? Somebody will ask, what is alignment? When I'm taking picture, why should I align my picture, or why is it necessary for me to look at the alignment? Okay, the alignment is how straight or crooked your picture is. So professionally, somebody will say, I like to use tripod. By using the tripod, you ask yourself, How do you use tripod if you don't have a tripod? That means you cannot use a tripod. So in this case, what do? You use your hand. So taking a picture as a beginner or amateur, whoever, depending on what you want to do, you make sure you hold your camera in your hand in a way, or the phone in your hand in a way that will give you the perfect what? Perfect straight line. Yeah, so it's like you have to get a picture on a straight line. So if you are taking a portrait of somebody, it's supposed to, like the way I am right now, you can see the whole thing is not crooked. I'm just straight like that. So you should be aiming at that one. So alignment is supposed to be one of the things you are supposed to look out for. So when taking picture or editing picture, you should look at the alignment. So if it's crooked, there is a section in there, or there is a tool in there that you're going to use to make the picture straight, depending on how much room you have above and below and side to side. So if you're taking a picture and then you're an amateur, please do not try to go close. Just make sure the person or the object is in the picture 50%, so that when you want to zoom in or you want to crop out, you don't have any problem. But if you get too much close to the screen close, and then you want to do that, that's where you have a problem. That's where you have a situation whereby the person's head will be cut, one side will be cut, and so on and so forth. So alignment, exposure, these are things you should look out for. All right. So let me go to the sharpness. Sometimes you as an amateur or a beginner, you don't know what is sharpness. You don't know all these things. But sometimes after taking the picture, you could see that, oh, Charlie, the picture is blurry. It's not sharp. You ask yourself, what did I do? Yes. So in this case, in as much as you want to work, or you want to make the sharpness good on the bench or in the software, what I want you to understand is that if you don't get it sharp on the camera, working on it over here or in there on the bench with the software will be very difficult for you. So please, this is a tip I'm giving. When you're taking picture, no matter how dark or how exposed it will be, please try and also make sure the picture is very sharp enough. So as an amateur taking picture, you have to be much more focused on how sharp the picture will be. Other than that, you go to an event, maybe a small event, you take pictures of your friends, and then you come home, it's like, what have I done? And then somebody tell you, oh, we fix it on the bench. Please forget about that. You get to the bench, and then you understand that, no, you have really messed up everything. And well, that will be a picture or a section of pictures to push you to the next level. But because you messed it up, your spirit is down, and you'll be like, I've done the wrong thing, and then I cannot do photography, I cannot do editing. No, that's not it. It's all part of it. So let's move to the next one, which is the color balance or color. Good. Sometimes you take a picture and you see that, well, there's too much color in the picture. As a beginner, if you are wearing this, and it is blue, you make sure when you take the picture, so what I'm saying is this, so in this section, looking at all these things, you are supposed to check the color balance too. And then there's something about, let me take you to a little bit of photography. We call the exposure triangle. Okay, when you're taking picture, it's like you have to look at how open, how dark the picture will be. So what can give you access to how dark or how well balanced the picture will be depends on what the exposure triangle, which we are not talking about today, because when we do this, we will confuse everybody. And then this chapter, in this section, we are just learners who don't even know anything about what we are doing. So without much ado, I want us to dive into the editing section. And before we do that, there are two simple and basic editing software I want to talk to you about. First of all, one is the Photoshop Camera Raw. One is a Photoshop Camera Raw. The Camera Raw is a simple editing software attached to the Photoshop that you can download, which gives you, let's say, a perfect or accurate, or it's just a first simple way of what editing your pictures. And then this is what I want to say. And there are two different things over here. We have basic editing and we have what? Retouching. The retouching is where somebody works on a picture, they bring some details to your picture, they change your eyebrow and stuff like that. These ones are not basic editing. These are advanced, and the advanced ones are what we call the what? The retouching. Picture what? Retouching. That is where you see the pros giving you softwares, giving you plugins and stuff like that. So these are things that you learn after learning the basic editing skills, because with the basic one, you just have to understand why this is like this, what is like that. So as time goes on, we get some of the pros to come and teach us about the advanced ones, which is the retouching. Okay, so retouching, you can retouch, work on the skin of the person, the color, change the color, change the shade, all of that. They are all retouching, but we have some of them too in the basic editing that you can do. But today we're focusing on the basics. So we've talked about the camera raw, which comes with Photoshop. The latest one, you get them, by the old ones, you have to download and then install. So in that, when you shoot and this one thing about the camera raw, when you shoot in raw, when you take the camera, we have a settings called raw. So the reason why people like shooting in raw is that you can manipulate the picture and then reset it to its default stage. So if anybody takes it, when a person does whatever he or she want to do with the picture, and then you come and then you want to work on it, you have to come back and then reset it to do whatever you want to do. Okay, so that is it. And then we have the second one too, which is called the camera, which is called the Photoshop Lightroom. Photoshop Lightroom is a paid one. So if you have money, you have the dollars, you buy. Then when you buy, there are a lot of things in there. So it can even make the work very easy for you. And then, so these are the two. So the Photoshop Camera Raw works like the Lightroom, but Lightroom gives you more leverage to do more things at a go. So in the Lightroom, you can even put your logo on your picture if you want to. But on the raw, I've not seen that yet, but I don't know if they'll be bringing it. Yes. So this is it. So now I want to share a screen where I'll be using. I'll try to use this too. I'll use how you call it, the camera raw to edit, and after that I'll use the Lightroom to edit. So the things I talked about color. That means you have to have your color balance right. We also talk about the alignment. That means the picture shouldn't be crooked, it's supposed to be straight. We also talk about the exposure, how open your picture is to ISO. ISO is how high light is into your image or camera. And then we have the sharpness or the sharpness. These are some things I have I brought up, but there are a lot of it to it. But with a basic person doing this, you should look out for these things and then you move. So I want to share my screen. Then we move to the section where we're going to talk about the software. You're going to do the practical section. And please, a minute for me over here. I want to share my screen. Okay. I'm going to I'm going through my pictures to see if I'll get a picture from my pictures, because I'll be using raw. So we are using camera raw. So what you should know is that with the camera raw, because it is raw, it can open with the camera raw. But if it's not a raw file, don't use the camera raw. Just use the Lightroom if you have a Lightroom. But there are so many other softwares to use. We have the Darktable, which is free, but that one to depend. We have a lot of them. So please, you can Google and then look up for some of these. So I'm looking for a picture. Taken in raw. Good. Now I have some pictures. Oh, these are in JPEG. No, sorry. Let me move. All right. So this is a picture I took some way back when we were doing a project on waste. So we're taking these pictures for OpenStreetMaps. So we had a project where we are supposed to go take pictures and try to document where these people are. So I took this picture, and then first of all, if you want to open a raw picture, you can go this way. You right click on the picture, you go to open with, and then you choose what? Adobe what? Photoshop. My version is 2020 what? 2. So that is default. Can you please see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. So it's now opening in the other screen. So when it's done opening, then I'll shift it to here. I'll shift it to here. Okay, so I think yeah. You you let me use this screen. Can you see this one now? Hello? Hello?
We can see your screen. We are seeing your screen.
Okay, yes. So we are coming to the basic editing. Now, you can see that this picture over here.
Mr. Amuzu, please kindly, someone asking which app or software are we using? Which tool are we using?
Oh, we're using 2 softwares. But it depends. We're using the Photoshop Camera Raw. So I don't know if you have it installed. Normally, some with the new versions of the software, you have it installed in there. But then with the old ones, you have to go there and go to Google and then type download Camera Raw for Photoshop. So it depends on which version of the OS you are of the software you are using. Then you download from there. So if you are using Windows, you go to the Windows version. If you are using Mac, you download Camera Raw for Mac or Camera Raw DMG. Then to give you what you want, and then you move it from there. So are we cool now?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So now this picture is a picture I took way back. I don't even remember the date. But this picture, if you can see, you could see that it is tilted, let's say, to the right a little bit. And then somebody say it is not well exposed for me. So I want to expose it. Somebody say it is not well sharp for me. So I want to sharpen it. So this trait, maybe someone will also say, I can't see enough color in there. So all that we talked about, we're going to what? Use it over there. And then we're going to do 2 basic what? Editing skills over here. Good. Right. There's something we call color balance. If let's say you want to understand why, you want to know if this color over here is red, red is supposed to be red, then you have to look out for any white within here. That is if you don't see the colors very well. So you have to go pick this tool, which is called what? White what? Balance tool. Good. So you click on it. So if this is supposed to be the white you want to take, when you click on it, then what do you see? It will change the white balance for you. But I think this is not showing because I think the white balance is already what? Okay. So we leave it there. So now what do? We go to the exposure. Good. So let me reset everything so that you understand what I'm talking about. I'm resetting the picture. Okay, thank you. All right. This is a picture I took some time back, and you could see that it's not well exposed. Sometimes this happens maybe because you want to take a picture very fast. You didn't check first of all, and you check the settings, and then you take a picture like this. Then what do you do? Somebody asks, what should I do? My picture is dark. This will be crying. My picture is dark. Oh. So this type of pictures is used for reporting. So if it's not a picture that you're going to give to a client, let's say somebody has paid you a lot of money to take a picture, and then you go and take this picture. The person will be angry with you though. But like you as an editor, basic or advanced, you have to make sure you try and do something about it. Good. So first of all, what do? We can see we have over here the first one with the lights. So this section we're talking about is where you can expose the picture correctly. You understand? So sometimes there's one aspect of it. If you don't know what you are doing, or somebody say you don't want to be confused, you just have to what? You just auto it. So when you auto it, this is the way to be. It will give the computer by itself with its mind will give you simple exposure where you go with. So it will expose the thing for you the way it feels it's good for you. So if it's not good for you, then you go back. You go click on the auto again to come back. So first of all, somebody would like to do this. You like to shift. There are some numbers over here you can put into, but what you can see is this. When you shift this one here, what happens? It exposes the picture a little bit for you. So we have this, we have the exposure, and we have what? The shadow. So the exposure and the shadow will work hand in hand to make a picture a little bit what exposed for you. So let's see this. So let's take it back. I click, I expose. Then I click here, I take out some shadows. So you can see the work of the shadow. What do you see? You can see that the darker parts are getting what brighter, or the shadow are taken out. Then we also have these for the lights. So the light, what does the light do? It adds more light. So just watch this. This light is off. Then that's the highlight. So we move. And then you can see it add a little bit, or it add light to your work for you. And then we also have the white over here. So if you want a picture to be, want to have the white, you add the white. But you can check from here. If you add a white, you can see that this place is becoming too white. So if you don't want the picture to be blown out over there, then you have to adjust it. So sometimes somebody put the white off because you want to maintain the picture as natural as he want to. Good. Then from there, somebody would like to add more black to his picture. Somebody would like to add more white to his picture. So let's see how the white works and how what the black works. So when you add black, what do you see? You can see that you get some deep shade in there. So sometimes somebody say, okay, I like it like this because I see I have that dynamic how do you call it? I have that dynamism in it. So I when I add black, I see the thing to be more cinematic. That's the word I want to use, more cinematic. So it depends on you what you want to do. So if you want to add more white, this is it. This is what the white will give you. So someone would also say, I want this one because I feel like, let's say, it's good for me. So everything depends on you. So with a picture, either you add black or you add white. So it is by your own discretion you do that. Okay. So that is it. So we move it from there. So let's go up back. Now, if you don't want any of this, or you don't want to use any of these things over here, just go to the author. Now, can you see this? This. Can you see this over here? Please let me know if you can see it. It's not Photoshop camera raw. It's Photoshop camera raw. My tongue is raw like this. Raw food. So this is the raw I'm talking about. Yeah, so add a raw to it. Yeah, it's not raw, it's raw. Photoshop camera raw. So if you are using Photoshop to download this one, you go. So with Mark Eben, please, is camera raw, okay? So it's like this, Photoshop camera raw. So with this one, for those of us who don't have, you can use the Lightroom, because sometimes Lightroom has become very expensive that you cannot afford Lightroom. So you can use the Photoshop and then download the camera raw, and then you move over there, or you move with it. So thank you. So good. Now we're talking about this section, the ISO section. Someone will say, is it histogram or whatever gram you call it? Now, you can use this one to expose or to work. Maybe you don't want to go through the whole process of tweaking the thing, move right, move left, move right. You can use this one. So you can see that the dark aspect is this portion. Please, can you all see what I'm doing over here? Where you see the ISO here, this place. Can you see this? Can you see it, please? Hello, please let me know if you can see what I'm doing before I move. I don't want to talk and then you don't know where I am, please. So please, I'm begging you. If you can see where the mouse is, let me know so that I continue. Thank you very much, Mr. Cowday. Oh, Cowday. Okay, thank you. So now, so we've done one, which is the first one, which is the auto to work for you if you don't want to stress yourself. Good. And then when you do this, what doesn't mean you don't know how to do anything, because at the end of the day, nobody will check whether you use auto or what. Good. Then you put it off. Then the second one is what we did by exposing, moving these things up and down. Now the third one is this, using this word, histogram, or I don't know how to call it now. So now you can see this aspect means that the picture is sort of dark over there. So when you click on it, you move, you see that this is moving. You can see that the black is moving over here. So that means we are in a section of what? Of the black. Good. Now you can click over here and then you move. So that means what? You are working with what? With the eye, what? With the exposure. You see the way the whole thing is. So now let's go back again. So the empty space that has got nothing over there, when you click, it will give you, or when you point to over there, it will give you on what you are working with. Now, let's start from here. What did he say? I'm working with the whites. You want to work with the white? Good. No. So let's move again. The highlights. You want to work with the highlights? Maybe no. So we go to the exposure. So this is exposure. So anywhere you point the mouse to, it gives you its section, what it does. So this is exposure. So the exposure there, we want it. So we want to expose the picture. So you click over here and then you drag. So you can see that it is moving gradually, spreading through. So you can go as much as you can depending on how the picture is. Good. So you have this one right now. Good. So we move again. We go to the highlights. Do you want the highlights to come down or to go up? So when you come down, that means you are coming down on the highlights. Good. So over there to, let's say you go to white. The white in the picture, do you want the white to come up or to go down? Somebody say, I want more white. So you go to the left, or sorry, you go to the right for more white. You go to the left to decrease what the white. So as you do this at the top, you see it moving where the white is under the light. I don't know if you can see it. So we give it a little bit white. Good. Then we leave it over there. Then we go again. And what do we want now? We want a shadow. Now you want to expose it. You want to clear the shadow a little bit. So what do? We click and then we try to see the black go off a little bit. Good. So here we are. We have done our basic what? Editing. This one everybody can do. So sometimes why I advise you to play with this thing. Some of the things you don't know until you play with it. And then the most important thing is that there are a lot of things in this camera raw you can do. So please, I would love you to go through this camera raw and then adjust things over there. Good. Now, when we are done with the first section, which is a light, and then you want to do further by adding the color. We can see that this one, the color is normal, but somebody say, I want the color to be warm. Warm. That means we want to add more red to it. So you come to temperature. So temperature and color. So you come to temperature. So in temperature, what do? You move it from, let's say, 450 to, let's say, 500. You see, as it goes, it changes what? The color. So what do you see? Good. So the normal average temperature for photography is 500, or sorry, it's like 5,000. So let's type the 5,000, 500, and then 0. You see, you've gotten your what? Your normal warmness. If you want to come down to, let's say, a little bit cool, which is the blue, you can put in 4,050, and then you have it cool. You can see a little bit of blue in it. So somebody will prefer this what? This picture. Good. Now, you come to the tint. Tint is like adding green or adding pink. So if you add, let's see how it works. When you add a green, what do you see? You see there's more green in there. And then when you add a pink, what do you see? You see there's more pink in there. So depending on what you want to do or the color you want to give, you can use these things to manipulate it. So somebody say, okay, I don't want too much of the pink. I just want only 1% or +1. You get it over here. Somebody say, okay, I want +2 of the what? Of the green. Somebody say, okay, I don't want anything at all. You come here. But this is very difficult for you to do to set your numbers. You can just come in here and then you type. If it's -1, you just type minus what? 1. Then it manifests over there. You see it. So if you don't want it, you go back there, you go to the 0, you enter, and then you move from there. Good. So now we come to the vibrance. We have this over here, vibrance and what? Saturation. So with the vibrance, it gives you more color. Saturation either decrease the color or increase the color for you. So let's try them one by one and see. The vibrance. I click and then I move it. What do you see? What do you see? You see that you can see more, the colors are popping up. You understand? You can see this green over here popping up very well. So let's see if it's true. So now you see that it has come to number. Check this green over here so you understand what we are doing. Check this green. Then we go to the vibrance over here. You click, you move, you move, you move. It's giving you more nice. See that? Can we see that with the color for this man, you can see more red or more kind of pink in there. Good. You can even see on the head that there's more pink. You don't want to edit picture like that. So you just have to be, somebody say, professional. Don't mind me. So you can come to, let's say, 14 or 9. And then we have the saturation. Saturation is where we add more color. You see the color. Nice. Yes. So let's go. So you click. And then now, please look at this. When you go to the right, you add more color. When you come to the when you come to the left, you go to the black and white. And you can see that the black and white isn't much. The black and white is not too much black and white because you can still see some colors what in there. You can still see some colors in the rubber that you are crashing over here. Good. So we just double click on it to go to the normal. So now we come to the saturation. With the saturation, you come to the left, you go to pure black and white. You go to the right, you go to more color. So sometimes you take a picture and then honestly, the picture doesn't look good in color. So you want to take it to black and white. You just come there, pump. You go to black and white. You come to the saturation too. You go to black and white. So you see that at the end of the day, your picture is in black and white mode, and then nobody will question you for anything, whether it is the color is dull or the color is not good. Nobody knows. So sometimes you, as an editor, basic editor, you have to decide what you do. They will say we want everything in colors, but when you see that this picture going to colors will disgrace you, please use the black and white. And when you use the black and white, so you can do a lot of magic to it. So we are doing this one by understand what you are doing. So with the black and white, let's come to the effect section. Now, this is the effect section is why we're going to do some nice magic to it. Now, the black and white, there's something over here called the haze. The haze also adds some flair to the picture for you. So now let's click on the haze. What do you see? You see that you can see some more details. You understand? So when the picture is black and white, it should be flat like that. It should be in a way that you can add some nice level to it. I say level because that is my level. Yeah. So we have what? The clarity. And now note this, please, when you're editing, it is not always compulsory to start from exposure, because sometimes the exposure will be good, but you just want to do one or two things to it. So it's not like you always have to start editing the picture by exposing it. No, please, it's not like that. Sorry. So sometimes I can start with the editing from where and what you want to do. Know what you want to do. Good. So, but I'm doing this because I want you to understand the whole thing from the top to the down. Yes. So we go to the clarity, how clear you want the picture to be. So the clarity will give you some details too as well. So you can see. So it gives some details to the picture. I don't know if you saw what I did. You can see the white, the black and white was just normal. But when you go to the clarity, it adds more black to it. Good. And then we go to the texture. What do you see? It gives you what? More texture. So you can see. So with the texture, you go more, you see more texture. So let's zoom and see. You can see this. You can see the texture over here. Yes. You can see the texture on the man's face. So when you go down, what do you see? The texture goes down. So when you go to the left, what do? You give it what? You give it a blurry kind of what? Look. But that depends on you and then what you want to do with the picture. Good. So you can see that now the man is blurred a little bit. Maybe just want to deceive people that it's a technique you are using. Know what the picture has a problem. So sometimes you, the editor, you should know how to communicate the picture to the people because you are the one telling the story. Good. So you can double click on it and then you go to the number. Good. Sometimes there's something we call vintage. Vintage is when you have the black into the picture or you have the white into the picture. So now, let's go to the left. What do we see? You can see some black at the edge. So let's go back. Can you see this black? That is vintage. So what are we doing? We are putting some nice level to the picture. And then if you don't want that one, you can move to the right, which is a white. Then you also click, and then it gives you more details to the vintage. So the midpoint, how then do you want it to be? Do you want it to be more, or you want it to go to the edge? So I just sit on the edge, small. So this is how it is. So how round do you want it to be? More round or less round? Because when you go to more round, you can see over here that the whites are here. You see? Yes. So how further do you want to go? Do you want it to come or to spread through? Good. So all this we're doing for what? We're doing for the black and white or for the whites. So that is it. So if we don't want it like that, so you just come back and then you have this over here like this. So if you don't want it to work that way, you double click, you double click, you double click. And then we come here to the vintage, we go to the black. So when you're on the white, the same thing. Or on the white, black, the same thing. So somebody says, okay, I want a black. Somebody says, I want a white. So you are the editor. You know what you want for your people. So the basic editing skills will let you understand what you want to do. But these software are used by professionals do. But now that we are all doing basics, we are all professionals because in your eyes, there will be more creativity. But in my eye, there will not be that much creativity. So creativity lies in your eyes or lies with you, the person editing the picture. All right. So now, from there to we come here, which is what the curve. You can also use the curve to edit the picture a little bit. So now how does the curve work? The curve works when you bend it to the right or to the top. So as you can see, when I bring the curve down here, what do you see? You see that it's coming down. And then now you can double click to add more joints or you add more what points. So as you see over here, we have 1 point, 2 point, 3 points. So this works for this. One is highlight, one is light, one is dark, one is shadow. That is if you don't want to come and work over here. So this is what you do. So when you come to this section, you are in the highlight section, you click. Then it comes down. So you are in what? In the light section. You go up. Then you are in the what? You are in the dark section. Do you want it to be dark or you want it to be high? So maybe you don't want it dark. You want it like this, fine. So this is how the curve works. So the curve, we can be curving it, bending the curve, and then you have what you want. So depending on how the picture is, then you manipulate it the way you want to manipulate it. Good. So if you don't want it like that, what do? You just double click to take it out. Uh-oh. If it's not working over here, just come here. So sometimes it's not working that way for me. So you just double click here, you go back, double click here, you go back, double click here, you go back. So as you double click, it takes you to 0. Okay, so then we come to the color. As we all know, so let me go back so that I take the design out. I take the black and white out. Okay, let's go back. All right, here we come to color. So this is where you can manipulate how much blue you want or how much whatever it is that you want. We have you can over here we have the color mixer. The color mixer gives you the color in sections. We have the hue, here, we have the saturation, and we have what? The luminance. The luminance is how much of blue or red or green you want into your picture. So the hue is, you know what, we all know hue, so the colors. So which colors do you want? So now this is green. How do you want the green? Do you want the green to come down? Or you want the green to go up? So you can see that when I move the green up and down, it works like this over here. You can see it has changed over here. Good. So let's go back. So let's say the red. Do you have red? So you can see that the red on the man's shirt has changed to, let's say, pink or something of that sort. Good. So this is how it works. But if you want all in one, and then this is a luminance. Luminance too is this. Let's go to the blue. So we go to the blue, which is the aqua. We have aqua here, or is it aquas? Aquas, or whatever it is they call it, just like the blue. So it gives you more blue. We go to the blue itself. You see what it has done for us. It has given us more blue over here. And then you go to the purple, to more purple. You go to the what? The magenta, more magenta on the what? On the cap. So the colors, as you move them, they work. As you move them, they work. So if you know that the color will be your problem, just don't worry yourself. Just make sure you are just doing the simple editing that you are supposed to do. But these are just things for you to look out for when you are doing your editing. So with the colors too, please, I would advise you, don't go too much into colors. Just make sure you match the colors as the way it's supposed to be. You shouldn't be too much, unless maybe you want to play with the colors and you want to have fun with the colors. That is it. Yeah. So as I'm saying, so if you want to go back to the default, just double click on this is this balance node. So maybe that. Good. All right. So now we are in the color grading. What is color grading? Color grading is where you mix 2 colors or 3 colors together. I know some of us did visual arts where we work with colors. So in the color grading section, it's a section where you work with the colors. So now let's see. Maybe you'll be given some colors by some companies will give you like, or somebody tell you, these are the colors I want to run through my pictures. I want to run, let's say, red, green, and then blue. So we have what? Them here. So as you can see, we have the mid-tone, we have the shadow, we have the highlights. So now, what colors do you want to run through this? Someone will say, okay, I want to run this orange. So I've moved the orange. So as I move the orange, you can see that it's moved over here. So now this is how it works. The point is in the middle over here. So if you want to move to the orange, this is what you use to move. You see this thing over here, this node over here, this round thing over here. You click, you move, it goes around the colors. So this is kind of like a color pie or color wheel. As you move, it moves. But you see the effects after you have moved up or down. So you move up like this, you go. So we are in the green. You don't want the green, you move to the what? To the orange. You see the orange. So if you want more of the mid-tone of the orange, what do? You go more, and then you see the orange over there. Then we come to here to the shadow. So in the shadow, what do you want to see? Do you want to see green, or you want to see violet, or you want to see blue? So everything depends on you. So when you click, then it gives you the access to this node over here to move. So somebody say, okay, fine. In the shadow, I want blue. So we're in the blue. So let's move. So when you give it blue, what do you see? Can you see the blue? Can you see the blue manifesting into the picture? Good. So it depends on you what you want. So in this stage, we are doing coloring. And then in editing, there are people called what? Colorists. They don't do anything. All they do is to work on color for you. And then sometimes, so in this aspect of editing, yeah, some people can select the pictures for you. Maybe you have about, say, 1,000 pictures. And then you cannot see them select the pictures yourself. So you can just pay somebody and say, buddy, can you do this one for me? I'm finding it very difficult to select the picture. So please go through and select the pictures for me. This is what I want. I want, let's say, some pictures from this section, and this section. So that person will sit down and then go to the pictures and select them one by one for you. So that is how it works. So if you're a team, somebody can be working on the color, somebody can be working on the alignments, and so on and so forth. But if you want to do it alone too, no problem. That's why we are doing this. Good. So let's go to the highlight. So with the highlight, what do you want? You want, let's say, we have orange here, we have blue here. So what do? Should we go to green? Yeah. So we added green. So what do we see? You see that the picture is kind of a nice, kind of cinematic or something of that sort. That is for my eye. I don't know for your eye, so I cannot say for your eye. So how it is for you, you have to determine it. Good. So this is how this one goes. And then we go to the blending. How then you want to blend the picture? Before I forget this. You can see an eye over here. So to see if your work or your color grading how you are doing is taking effect, what do? You click here. When you click here, it takes the eye off. That means you don't have anything in there. So let's put all off. I'm putting this one off. I've put this off. And I'm putting what? This one too off. So our picture is back to normal. But when you click to, it goes back to you to that same position. So these are just slides that you can slide to either add more shade or you add more whatever it is. So then as you go, shadow can be everywhere. It gives you access to do all this over here. So let's come here to and see. You see? So it's always, so in every section of this, you come to the mid-tone, it gives you that one. You come here to, it gives you, then we go to the highlight too, it gives you the same thing. So highlights, you want to see the highlight will work over here very nicely for you. That is it. This one is done so that you don't go back looking for highlights where it is from the top here. You understand? So they are just putting everything under the color so that it makes the work very easy for you, so that you don't go up and down moving. Other than that, you can focus on everything. So that's it. So I think it's cool over here. So now we go to the what? I'll jump this. You want to blend, how well do you want to blend the whole thing? It's on 50%. Do you want to blend in or what? On 60 or 70%. So we got, as you go, you see that some colors will be more dominant on the other. So sometimes you can come to, let's say, 57 or something of that sort. So like how it was in the right proportion. So the blend it is here. What do you want to blend it? You want to blend it 34% or you want to go down So as you blend, then you see that it goes to either the mid-tone or the highlight. So if you want to blend it, you can come here to, let's say, 2 or 5, or let's say 12. So it depends on you. Now I was talking about sharpness. Sharpness is here. So with this sharpness, you want it to be sharp. But if the picture is not sharp and then you put too much sharpness, you put it on the computer or your phone, you see the effect. You see it with some way, some way. So the sharpness, you don't give it too much, but try as much as possible to get at least 50% sharpness from the camera. So when you come to the bench, you don't suffer. Yeah. Good. So you have something over here called noise reduction. This noise reduction sometimes take a longer time if you have more pictures to work with. So what our advice is that you want to use the sharpness, the noise, finish with your work before you denoise. Good. Now, the denoise is the small particles you see in the picture. So let's see. Can you see some small particles over here? Good. We can. That's good. So let's go to the denoise and see if it will work over here perfectly for us. Good. So now let's click on the denoise. It's loading the raw file. And then you can see over here how the noise, you can see the red, the black, the blue, the green in that one, in that category. So what do? We denoise how many percent? Is it 50%? So now you see that when you go to the 50%, it's gone down a little bit. You see, you can see here in there. You see that it's gone down what? A little bit for us. Good. So when you go to enhance, what happens? So it takes effect. You see? So let's see how the effect is on the man's face. You see that on the man's face, there's too much color, that particles has gone down a little bit. And then you can see it over here. So that's what the denoise do. But with this particular aspect with the camera roll, denoise take a lot of time. You can see that it's loading over here. You can see here. Can you see the blue? So it has to load all the way to everything what meets before we can see our effects properly. So let's see how it works. And then from there, then we move to the chromatic aberration and stuff like that. The chromatic aberration talks about the more blue or the more pink you have to the picture. Yes. So that is what we are looking at right now. Hey, I think my time is even past, right? But I don't know. My time is far spent. I thought I could do a little bit of the photo and the video, but as it's going, we can't do all. So I think we will be ending it when my bosses say, or they say we should end it. Yes. Please, are we there? So before I do that, and I just want this one to move to full. Then we see how effective is the denoise. So the noise is like, it's how smooth sometimes the picture will be. Please, do you get it? How smooth sometimes our picture can be. Good. So good. Now what do you see? You can see it's sweet, right? Good. So now let's zoom into this man. Good. When you zoom into this man, sometimes you can see there are some lines on the edge, like pink or purple or so. Good. That is called a chromatic what? Aberration. You understand? It's here, chromatic aberration. How do you remove it? You click on what? You click over here under the optics. Under the optics, so you click on the chromatic what? Aberration, and automatically it removes it for you. But sometimes it doesn't remove all. So if it doesn't remove all, what do? You go to what? The manual. So the manual will give you access to remove more. So as you can see, it's over here on the purple. So you go down to what? To let's say 11% to the right. You see that what? It is removed over here. You see the way it is? Good. But sometimes when you remove all, it makes the picture very weird. So you make sure that you don't remove everything entirely, but just try to work with it in a way that the purple doesn't show too much or the blue doesn't show too much. So that is it. So we are done. So the rest of the things, please, you have to do the manipulation and things, and then you move it from there. Good. So now let's go to one thing. That is what? The straightening. It's called the cropping. So over here at the right side of the editing toolpan, you can see this tool is like an angle, is a four or the squared corners. When you click on it, you can see this over here. You can see that you have what? 1, 2, 3. So these three things are called a rule of thirds. Rule of thirds. So we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is called the rule of thirds. So this one will guide you to see if you are what? You are straightening your picture very well or not. So now you want to straighten your picture after clicking on this tool over here. When you come here, what do you get? You see that it gives you 2 curvy arrows. That means you can move it to the right or you can move it to the left. So now our picture is kind of to the right. So let's move it to the left and then let's see what happens. So I click and hold. I click hold and then tilt to the what? To the right. So you can see it is moving. Good. So now it has moved. So what do you see? You see that now it has moved to the what? To the correct what? To the correct line for me. So for me, it is okay for me. If it's not okay for you, then you keep on going till the time you see everything. So you can see it's like this. And what do? You click over here. But I can see it's crooked, right? So you go back again, you click, and then you move gradually back. When I talked earlier on, I said, if you don't want to eat too much into the picture, take the picture and have much more enough room, or you see, have much more headroom. The headroom can be up here, side and side. You understand? So over here, I have to what? Expand a little bit because I don't want my image to be cut off because I want to do some proper storytelling with it. So this is how it is. But with at the top, there's much more room over there. So I don't care too much about it. But it's the down and the side to side is what I'm concerned about. So I am done. So this is my picture. And I've given a very nice cinematic what? Feature. So that is it. So now, if now I want to save, what do? I either right click over here and then go to save and go to save image and then choose my location. Or I just come here. There's an arrow down here. That means what? Save. Then I click on it to save. So when I click on this over here, it gives me what? This environment, this save option dialog box. So that is where I state where to save the picture to. Now over here, sometimes when you shoot in RAW, the picture is very heavy. It carries like, let's say 30 megabytes or 50 megabytes. All right. So we have a section over here called limits. So the limit will limit you to how much you want to save the picture. So sometimes somebody say, okay, I want to save the picture to only 3 megabytes or 4 megabytes. So before you can see that it's like this, the quality is on 10%. And then you have to, yeah, that's the maximum. So if let's say you want to move to, let's say, to limits, you come down over here. So now, this is what we should all know. 1,000 kilobyte is 1 megabyte. So 2,000 kilobyte is 2 megabyte. 3,000 kilobyte is 3 megabyte. 4,000 kilobyte is what? Is 4 megabyte. So depending on what you want, you choose within. So for pictures to also be rich or have correct value, you can save it within 1 megabyte to, let's say, 3 megabytes. So after that is done, you choose your location. So I am choosing my location, which should be the desktop. So I choose a desktop over here. Can't see the desktop over here. So let me see if I'll see the desktop over here. So the desktop is here, or whichever location you want. You choose it from there. Then I go to select. So going to select, what do I do? Then I save. So I'm done saving. So after saving, I click on done, and then everything goes off for me. Good. So this is another picture we also have, but we're not working on this one here now. So since we have learned how to do some basic editing, then I think you people are now you are now good to go with how to edit your picture. Basic editing skills is just the basic things you look out for when you are done editing your picture. And then what you have to notice is that in a camera raw, you can choose multiple raw pictures to work on. So now let's look for our picture and then see what we have done. So I've seen the picture over here and I'm double clicking on it. So there, this is it. So this is what we have. So this is what I have done. You can do better. So that is it for now. So I am done with the basic editing skills, introduction to basic editing skills. And I hope that if you are a pro, you have some correction to give me. And if you are coming up, these are some of the things to look at for when editing your picture. So that is it. So now, if you want to start with photography, you can start with what you like doing. Are you in an office where you want to make yourself more relevant? You have a camera, you can start doing a voluntary service. Most of these things we do are voluntary services. So I will urge you all to start voluntary services from your corner. And then when you do it to the best of your capability, and then you are not there, they will say, where is this man? Where is this lady? She should do this thing. So that is how you see your relevance among people. So in as much as we want to be seen, you cannot just wake up and then somebody will see you. You have to start from your small corner, like the American corner, and then move up. So this is my corner, and this is what I have done, or this is what I've taken you through. A day will come, you'll be the one to be leading this session. So I will say, let's learn to volunteer. You have something good to teach or to let us know. This is time for us to get involved. So next year, you want to see much from you people doing much things for us. But then I couldn't do the video section, which I can do now. But then I will try and do that one offline, and then we'll upload into the page. So with the basic picture editing, this is what we've got into, and this is what we got from our picture. It makes it what? Nice. So please let me hear from you if you have anything for me. Please, I beg you, I'm also a beginner. I'm learning. So if you know too much, come and just teach us some. But don't come and challenge me because I've also learned this small thing. I think that we should all learn from it. So I thank you all for having time with me to go through with me. Yes, please. So if you have any question, please let me know. Thank you. Hello?
Yes, Amuzu, thank you. It has been a great session. Yes, if we have any question, we can just put it in the chat box. So maybe we can spend some 3 minutes on that. If not, we can jump to other sessions currently happening. Yes, the recorded session will also be available. We can always come back and then watch them. Um, and also it will be on YouTube, Africa Digital Skills Conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, that is a problem. I also have this problem because when I was starting photography, I bought my first camera when I was doing my national service around 2014, which is what a 3T. Good. So because I was eager to do photography, I started doing everything free. So you go to a section, because people know me to be doing free stuff, they don't want to pay when you ask them to do the free stuff for them. You understand? So then you will be exploited. But the thing is this: if you want to put everything rightly, don't just go and say, I want to take this amount of money. You tell the person, oh, I have to rent the camera, I have to rent the camera, I have to rent the lens, I have to rent everything. Because at the end of the day, it is your device you are using. So if you don't find a strategy to get something from them, they will never pay you. Because I have volunteered on so many occasions, especially with the OSN, Open Street Maps. I have volunteered because that's what I want to do. I don't ask for money. But in volunteering or doing this thing, it's expose you to people, it leads you to people that you don't know. It was through this volunteering that I have got access to be on this African data skills. You understand? So sometimes you look at where you should volunteer for free, and then look at where you take money. So you don't take money in all aspects, because a day will come, somebody will be needing your service. And then sometimes they'll just give you some token. Maybe you go and charge and then you get less. But the token they'll give you, you'll be like, hey, I wasn't expecting this money, but I'll be giving this. Because especially, but you see, sometimes Africans, as we are, we don't respect photography. We want to pay less for photography, but we want a photography. I want a photograph. And that's one aspect of everything. That's one aspect of the talk that get people angry. So it's like somebody go and buy the tools thinking that it's coming to do more business. And then you come to the business like, I never knew it is so hectic. I can't even get a contract. So as I'm saying, from your corner, Mr. Yena, today, please. We are being exploited. It will sometimes, because you go and do a job and then you be given less. But then the thing is this: somebody will say, package yourself, brand yourself. Good. So as you are branding yourself, make sure you are providing correct images. Sometimes I go for conferences and then you see people holding gears. Like you see the camera they're holding, man, you'll be frightened. But at the end of the day, you see that what they are producing with what you have, their quality is way below yours. So sometimes the expectation there to come in, but that shouldn't bring you. Just keep going, and then just know where you shoot your shot. Don't shoot your shot anywhere. Yes, that is it. So I don't know whether I've answered your question, but with the pricing, you have to check yourself. How much is your camera? If you want to rent, how much is it? So camera is, let's say, $20. Lens is, let's say, $10. Flash is, let's say, $5. Memory card, let's say, is $30. So you put all these things together, and then you see the pricing for it. So if all these come together to, let's say, to be $1,000, so that is $1,000 for the equipment. But very funny, if you just go straight with the $1,000 for the equipment like that, and you don't put anything on it, you will lose. Because at the end of the day, when you put that one for the equipment, and then you come to, let's say, your per diem you want to take for the work, you will slash your per diem for you, and then you regret. So sometimes make sure that when pricing, put some of the price within the gadgets that you rent, so that when you slash it over here, you get it over here to put together to have your minimum or your respectable money. That is it. Please, Mr. Have I answered your question, or I have done something for you?
I think the follow-up question has to come to, it has to be like a one-on-one base.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So I think next time you have a session where we'll be talking about
Pricing and all that.
and we just be talking about it. It's not be like somebody teaches somebody. We talk, so we talk about our experiences, and then what we feel like, how we feel like we are being exploited, cheated, and stuff like that. Because honestly, what I saw when I was into this photography, I saw one man where they were printing the picture. And it was like, don't take this thing very serious, because it is from these I feed my family and I do everything. Do you understand? And then sometimes people want studio. If you are very lucky, and then you have a place you can set up a studio, just set up your studio, and then when they come, you charge them. Now the photo shoot. Let me show you this thing over here. I have guys who charge with their studio. We go to their studio, when they take you picture, three pictures, they charge you like, let's say 500 Ghana cedis for 3 pictures. You understand? Some two, they charge you 2. Maybe the person want to be moderate. They will say, okay, 3 pictures for 300 Ghana cedis. Somebody say, why should I pay for that? But those who understand photography understand what I'm talking about. And then these people always like, sometimes they'll book you, you give them the price, and then they'll tell you, my brother cousin said he can do that one for me for free. It's a lie. So they go, and because maybe you are charging and the thing is high, so they go for another person, and when they go for that person, and then at the end of the day, they give them what very nasty pictures, and they are like, wow. So that is when next time they come to you. First of all, make sure that your works also talks for you a little bit. That is it. So with the pricing, it is by your own discretion. What I would say is this: factor your gadgets, factor your workmanship, and then factor your lorry fare. All this, put them together, and then you give. But when they're coming to you, you also factor your light bill, everything, put them together and you charge. That is it. Thank you very much. Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. So we can hear you. So quickly, Amuzu, where can we contact you? I mean, if you can leave your social media handles for us to be able to contact you for further guidance. Some of us want to start this thing actively, and at least we need some mentors like you who are willing to share.
Okay. From me, I will tell you my experience from what I've learned from voluntary services to whatever I did. But I have this. When you go to Facebook, you can go to Facebook and then look for Amuzu photography. Amuzu photography. Yeah, it's a page, and it's a page where you can get me from. You go to Instagram, Tuesday as Amuzu photography. You go to Flickr. I'm also on Flickr as Amuzu photography, so you can get me there. Yes. So if you want us to continue over there, we continue. There are a lot to this, and there are a lot of things we have to learn. And then very, very soon we'll be learning about copyright with pictures too. So the next time we come, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. So it will depend. So when you go to the page, the African Digital Skills page, you can put there what you want to learn, so that we go and inquire and then learn, and then come, and then we come and then we discuss. It's not like we come to teach, we come to discuss. So I will say what I know, you also say what you know, then we move it from there. So it is best learned when we discuss rather than one person talking. Yes, that is it. All right, so Satalika.
All right. Thank you. We really thank you for sharing with us. So we'll call it a day, and then we jump into the other in-person sessions that are also ongoing.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all for having me, for coming here. I appreciate your patience through all the process, and then I'm very happy. At least we've come together through this to understand what it is that we all know about photography. And then please, I will urge you all to be doing this. Don't rest. Yes, and then when you are shooting pictures, check the kind of pictures you are taking. If you want to work on the pictures and then you won't have the pictures in this format, you can use the raw. So normally, because I learned about raw, and then I'm always exposed to raw. So with the raw, I can manipulate the picture anytime, anyhow. But with the JPEG, we work on it. You cannot what? change it back. So if you have enough space, you can shoot raw and large or raw and JPEG. That one will work for you. So this is the advice I'm going to give you. It's either you shoot in raw or you shoot raw in JPEG if the client want the pictures instantly. So when you shoot raw in JPEG, you just copy the JPEG for the client, and then you take your raw, you go and put it down. Because one day, you misplace them. And then when they come back to you, you charge them again for it. That is it, but not like before. But before I was saying, I have to give you some small token because A, B, C, D, blah, 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 blah. Then you take that money from there. That's where they will see how important photography is. But if you give everything free, come to that time, boom, you are dead because you've shot yourself in the foot. That is it. All right. Thank you.